To all you wonderful people, this is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear listening into another Gamer's Thoughts discussion. And first of all, I do immediately apologize if there is any wind that you hear in the mic on my phone, because I have to respond to some stupidity here. Firstly, thank you, Stan Storm, for bringing this to my attention, but also thank you to other people for showing other sources for me to get this information, because I was not going to listen to Rich of Review Tech USA talk about this at all. But apparently, IGN and Digital Foundry to an extent, actually I would say Digital Foundry and IGN to an extent, are stupid. They're both stupid. They're both vehemently very stupid. Nope. Let me go back to being politically correct. They're cognitively deficient. Yes, that was it. They're cognitively deficient and cranially inept. Because of the new trailer for Breath of the Wild 2, which was delayed for a few months from what its launch was supposed to be this year. Oh, we've seen some things like some volumetric clouds, and firstly, the first Breath of the Wild game people wouldn't have believed was running on the Wii U if they didn't see it on there. Secondly, have you guys not seen Xenoblade Chronicles X or Xenoblade Chronicles or Xenoblade Chronicles 2? Have you not seen any of the games that Monolith have worked on? Because Monolith is helping with this. Monolith Soft, I mean. Have you not seen any of their games? Because that would hint at your stupidity here. Well, because there's some new stuff that we see in the trailer and it looks a little interesting, this can't be running on the current Switch. Like, are you guys dumb? Do you really think that Nintendo would show you game footage running on new hardware? That sounds stupid. And also, this is a similar type of argument that people made for Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's been made for several games that Nintendo have been making that have come out on the Switch. Why are we recycling these arguments? They're stupid. And they keep being recycled over and over and over again. So, to make this perfectly clear, Breath of the Wild 2 was coming out for the Nintendo Switch. It was being built around the Nintendo Switch, the same way that the original Breath of the Wild was being built around the Wii U. Yes, it was ported to the Switch because obviously Nintendo was like, okay, well, we can make more money off of having this be a launch title for the new console, but we're still going to release it on the platform we were originally working on it for. And people are still finding new things to this day to do in Breath of the Wild. So what would make you think that especially if they're using the same engine, that they couldn't get this game running on the hardware that they're working on it for? I'm just curious. Like, how brick dense do you have to be in order to come up with this thought process? Because there's legitimately no reason to think that what you're saying right now makes any sense. And you're going to go to Digital Foundry, who says that Bayonetta 2 was unplayable on the Wii U, but didn't they praise the PS3 version of the original Bayonetta, which ran like crap? And weren't these the same people who claimed to be able to see the 1/10 of a missing frame for Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U without a machine to tell them the frame rate? I'm just pointing out some stuff here for the sake of consistency. And IGN decides to call them tech experts and then reveal this Digital Foundry. I guess you could mildly, loosely call them tech experts, but they're no more tech experts than I am. Really, truly, they're not. The only difference is I don't claim to be a tech expert. I just have a happiness to learn about technology, whereas Digital Foundry gets paid, and often they say things that tend to come off very foolish in the long run. And then you have supposed news sources like IGN and then Rich of Review Tech USA using them as a source to talk about something that people who are not developing the game are saying about said game on the hardware of said game, or the hardware platform said game is coming to. When are y'all going to learn that Nintendo does not operate like Western companies? Nintendo will show you the shitty footage of something first and then show you the improved footage later. Same thing happened with Super Mario 3D World, happened with the original Hyrule Warriors, and again, more recently happened with Pokemon Legends Arceus. And now it's happening with Breath of the Wild 2. Hell, it also happened with the original Breath of the Wild. So Nintendo's no stranger to showing people lower quality footage and then showing you the better quality footage afterwards, after improvements and updates have been made. Show footage with target renders of what they're trying to aim for the game to look like graphically or artistically when complete, like many other companies do. They give you the raw footage, the raw building of the game as it is before you get your hands on it. So again, who's running with this idea that Digital Foundry in any way, shape, or form is correct about this? The only thing that you could say, and many people probably would figure, is that if there is to be a Switch 2 or a better version of the Switch coming out in the near future, it's going to run on the OG in all of its variants, as well as the new system. And the new system may have some graphical improvements as well as some frame rate improvements versus the current Switch in all of its, again, all of its variations. That's about the only difference. That's the only thing that you could potentially guess at. But if you, again, look towards some of the examples that I pointed out, like Xenoblade Chronicles X, Pokemon Arceus, hell, even Nintendo Switch Sports, you'll find some of the graphical things that they're talking about going on in Breath of the Wild 2 happening in those games, which are on hardware that is weaker than the Switch, or well, less efficient than the Switch hardware is. I can't say weaker because of power consumption, and that is a major difference there. But the Switch is more efficient and better hardware than the Wii U is per watt. So what would make you think that this game is not going to end up on the actual platform that is being developed for? Nintendo is not Sony. Nintendo is not Square Enix. If they're making a game for a platform, they're likely going to put the game out on that platform. I'm going to show you a game and say, hey, it's coming out on this platform, and then just move the whole game to another platform without having a version for the platform that they're showing it to you on. Is at least if they've already gotten into full development of the game. And again, I'm pretty sure nearly everything is finished with Breath of the Wild 2. They're probably just tightening up some stuff. And the delay likely happened because this year is so full of releases for the Switch that Nintendo didn't really have a whole lot of room to put Breath of the Wild without it cannibalizing something else that was probably in development longer and got held back because of the pandemic. This is stuff that is easy to figure out. It doesn't take a whole lot of thinking to figure out what the reasoning is besides what PR requires them to say. So, you guys can follow that train of thought that, because Breath of the Wild 2 got delayed, maybe it's coming out on newer hardware and it's going to skip the Switch. You're fucking dumb if you think that. I'm sorry. Did they not just get this console over 100 million units sold worldwide? Why would they make such a stupid ass move and not be able to guarantee the sales of this game in any way, shape, or form at any capacity? This is like, I'm not even in business, but you could tell the people that think this way would literally be out of business within months of starting something. I really hope that someday IGN starts developing games. I really would love to see them start working on video games and then come back to these articles and realize how fucking stupid they are. Because it's stupid. And I know I'm supposed to be politically correct. It's cognitively deficient. It's cognitively deficient for them to think this way. But boy, I read that and I'm like, you're relying on Digital Foundry to tell you about something that they have no control over and they're not working on? Whew. Jumped the shark there, did you not? Well, I'm not going to carry on too much more. I think I've done enough insulting of them because my intelligence was insulted seeing what they had to say and who they decided to reference. So I think I've beat down on them enough to let this go. Okay, so that's it. Anybody else has any opinions, please feel free to share them. Well, thank you guys very much for listening and keep your eyes and ears up for more stuff from me. And until the next time, enjoy your games and peace out, everybody.